I'm here. I know. I know. I know. I know. I'm button pressing. So much button pressing. So, so my dudes. Mm, got a teeny headache because I had um, a litre and a half of beer because I recorded a video. So that's fun. Um, and then I had some of my Pepsi Max, and that's got caffeine in it, which means that the beer, the alcohol, and the caffeine are kind of like not liking each other. I'm guessing. I always seem to get a headache whenever this happens. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but it's just that it does make me kind of like a little bit irritated at stuff. Well, it's not so much that, it's more that I'm just like a little bit less inclined to be irritated. It's a little bit less inclined to show me hiding my irritation. So, yeah. Yeah. I've also just noticed, well, I didn't just notice, I noticed before I filmed, I have like a massive spot just here, just on my tummy, on my upper part of my tummy. And I tried to get rid of it before I filmed, and instead it just made the whole area very red. Yep, you can see it. There it is. And it's just very distracting. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just like whenever I'm just doing that, I just end up with a, what's that? Oh, you know, it's gonna hurt tomorrow. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna become very tender tomorrow. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great fun. Anyway, yes, I had a Patreon request, so basically I had to do that, and that video will be out tomorrow. I had great difficulty in finding my construction outfit because this was a Cubsy request, and he always requests for me to wear my construction outfit. He always requests the same thing, and it's something that I can't do, so I have to try to kind of like suggest ways around it. Did I bite my tongue? Just a bit sore, just this side of my tongue. So weird. Anyway, yeah, he will always request me to try to burst out of my high vis shirt, my high vis vest. The the problem with this being my high vis shirt, my high vis vest doesn't fit me. It already doesn't do up at the front. He wants me to burst out of it, and it's like I can't do that because it doesn't do up. You know, I even got a larger one, expecting that to work. Also because I can't find my old one, but I got a larger one, and that one is just a little bit too small. Just a little bit too small. Like I can't even get it to do up properly at my chest level because when I try to pull it down, it immediately undoes itself, and it's yeah. But he asked for that, even though he knows this, he asked for the same thing over and over again, and that's fine. Just I hate disappointing the guy, and yeah. So I tried to do a button popping video. I don't know why I tried to do the button popping videos because they never work. unless it's snap buttons, buttons are just too strong. It's uncool. So yeah, I know my speech might sound a bit weird. It's because I'm trying to figure out exactly what the fuck is wrong with my tongue. It's only because I haven't spoken today to anybody. My tongue feels weird, but it feels weird on one side. Anyway, oh my god, getting distracted already by my own tongue. So uncool. Anyway, I filmed that, and like I filmed it all in one shot, so I don't have to edit anything, which is good because I still haven't sourced out the files on my computer, which I'm trying to do. I am trying to do. There's been a lot of bullshit happening. Okay, you have to give me a break. And so yeah, I can just upload this video, just raw footage style, and it will be good. Hopefully, you'll like it. I was supposed to do that now, but it's a streaming night. At least I think it's a streaming night. It wasn't a streaming night last night. No, it's the night before it was a streaming night. And yeah, I wanted to get this done. Also, I've got an art commission, so I should do that. Also, yes, in 1 week's time, I've got to go to Northampton. Not Northampton. I've got to go to Nottingham. Very looking forward to that. I've mentioned it before on stream already, but yeah. It does remind me, I've just got to do this real quick. Got to look up on this app to see if any of my buddies are in Nottingham. That's weird. There's a Nottingham. There's like several Nottinghams in the United States. Is that a thing? I know that America is full of place names that are just the same as the UK for some reason. But really? It's funny. No way. Sorry, somebody that I've never met, but I've always wanted to. I didn't know that Selston is in Nottingham. So I've got to make a post on this. Oh, I'm trying to think of like how you guys might know him. Yeah. Really? Like he goes by Fat Lads on Groma. I'm trying to think of like I think he's been on stream once, maybe once or twice. I'm just checking on the map how close that is to Nottingham. Fuck's sake, it's actually miles away. God damn it. I thought I was like, ooh, I know this person. No, they're not there. I'm still going to write a post. Typing and checking the chat at the same time is not good. Right. Okay. Well, that was a bit disappointing, if I'm honest, but it's fine. Right. So yeah, that's in a week's time. Actually, very excited about that. Hmm. It's okay, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. It's okay. I yeah, I did want to say about the like if we're going to talk about AI art stuff because I know that you liked a certain picture and I knew you would like a certain picture. There's like it's really irritating because doing these AI kind of like just just feeding my pictures into the AI and just like um, using the standard prompt, it kind of it kind of like triggers the imagination, especially if I run it through certain AI systems. Mainly because they kind of prompt you, like if you put the images through Copilot, then they kind of prompt you to try to create a story behind the images. And this is a big pain in the butt because it means that I have to write the story because it's like, oh, that's a good one. I could write that. That's pretty good. So I save it for later. And it's like, oh my god, there are so many. There are so many stories I have to write if I keep doing this. And it's really irritating because I want to just like delete them and move on. But the problem with that is that um, I know I know I'll forget, and I'll have to because I have to be doing something else. So I can't just sit and write the story every single time. So it's really annoying. I could make them really short stories, or basically get the AI to write the stories for me. But that just feels a bit off. That always feels a bit off. Plus, they kind of get samey. It's like on Fur Affinity, right? So on Fur Affinity, there are some pages that I follow, and I have followed them because I read the story and I got engrossed in some of the, I read their stories and I got engrossed in some of the storylines and stuff like that. Like there's a whole thing. I can't remember the name of this fucking story, but it's so good. It's so good and detailed, and like the world is built up and stuff like that. And it's basically about a dragon and like the dragon family hierarchy and stuff like that. And it's all about like this one dragon and this female dragon that are like fighting an evil wizard or like a human of some kind with a certain like machine or ability or whatever. And like it's been so long since, it's been like a couple of years since I've read the story. And like the prince dragon is being protected by this female dragon, and she is a badass and she's super awesome and cool. And the way that basically they write it, and especially like the fighting scenes where like she has to get down to the basement of this castle or whatever, the dungeon of this castle or whatever, to actually like save the prince and like turn off a machine or something. She basically like they actually show, well, they don't show it. The way it's written is that like she has to get past this big rock monster, and like the way that she fights with a sword is so cool. Like the way it's written is so cool. And like as a person who basically has done sword training, like it actually just the added details. The person who wrote this story like knew sword training of some kind. Like there's a specific move where you basically sword shield. It's very, very simple. It's very easy. It's just that the way that it's written is very much the way that like manuals of people who are trying to learn sword, the art of sword training and stuff like that, that is the way that they are written. And essentially you basically like hold the sword as if it was a shield, using it like covering your arm, like so the sword is here, and you basically like use it as a shield. The way that it's written, I pictured it perfectly because it was written so nicely. Just that one move, but there were other moves as well, that like are written as if somebody like has like they know the moves. They're trying so hard not to say the actual names of these like poses, techniques, forms, whatever, and stuff. They're trying to write it as if they're basically trying to explain to people who have never done sword training how it would look and stuff like that. For example, oh my god, I can't remember the name of the fucking move. The move where basically you have to turn. Oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare. You have to turn. I could just say like the name of the move if I could remember it, and then basically like I can tell you guys to look it up. But you have to turn, but you basically have the sword and you are kind of like blocking with the sword, and you kind of like fling their sword away, from your sword, and then you have to turn to face somebody else. So you kind of guard yourself with your sword around your back and then bring it forward. It's like a thing. It's a specific move, and she does this, and it's really good. And it's basically like somebody who is trying to explain that way better than I did in a story, and it's really good. But that's just general stories on Fur Affinity. Fur Affinity has a thing about against AI, don't they? They really hate AI. Yeah. I've noticed a few accounts that use AI for their writing, And the reason why I know this is the case is because sometimes I tell AI if they basically suggest a specific story to me based on a picture that I've uploaded, like when I use Copilot or if I use Grok, then what it will do is it will give me a story summary. Like it'll give me a little paragraph or two about like, ooh, like this picture looks good, like this is happening and this is happening, and there could be a story that, let me know if you want to expand on a story where this happens and this happens. And I'm like, I do, I want to see it. I want to see what the story is going to be like. It sounds really good, so I ask it to, yeah, go on then. And it will basically write me a very short story, like a page of just a basic story of this. Yeah, I can recognize when, based on this kind of structure, I can recognize this on people's stories on Fur Affinity. Fucking hypocrites. Like there are entire pages where a Fur Affinity account, a user profile, their gallery is just full of stories, or like a storyline or whatever. And because I've now unlocked the ability to read, I know, right? It only took 40 years, but whatever. Yeah. I've unlocked the ability to read these stories. Oh my god. That is a not small spider. Fortunately, it's on the complete opposite end of my office, so I'm safe? Question mark. Yeah. Yeah. I've unlocked the ability to basically read AI stories. I can recognize when a story is AI now. It's kind of like how people do with pictures. If there's something that basically like they've used AI in the past to try to alter a picture or generate a picture or whatever, and you kind of can tell, like every time you ask for a certain type of thing, this it spits out this version of it, or it'll mess up the fingers or something. If you look really closely, you can actually like tell when a picture is AI and when it isn't AI. It's getting harder and harder to do that. AI is getting better. However, it doesn't seem to be getting better when it comes to writing. When it comes to writing fiction, it seems to have the same kind of like base for its story. It's got a what is it called, a fifth. Like I learned this from elementary. Like the way that somebody writes is called a fist. It's called the writing fist. I do not know how to spell it. I just know that this is the way he says it in elementary. But it's the writing style, the cadence, the actual like the rhythm, all that stuff. Yeah. I've noticed that like sometimes the stories that I've read on Fur Affinity are completely the same as that I've seen when I've checked AI to see if it basically can elaborate on a story idea that it's already suggested for one of my pictures in the past. Happens all the time. There are lots of them. I would say that basically over half of the stories that I've read on Fur Affinity have at least had their underlying architecture be written in AI first, and they've just edited certain details. But yeah, AI is all for writing stories. It just can't elaborate details. It depends what one you use. It does depend on what one you use. I've noticed that like you can actually tweak it. Yes, I will agree with you that it will often shorten and will try to stick heavily to exactly what you've written, and it can get a bit repetitive with certain descriptions. I'm trying to think of a good one. Oh, here's a good one. You like the captain that you like. It suggested a really good story for this, and I elaborated on the story. um, and I got it to write out a couple of pages, in fact, of a story. But you know, the character description of the captain, even though it had the picture, um, it stuck to a couple of things, even though they don't make sense. For example, the captain wears his hat continuously, and it loves talking about his hat. You know, like little things like the details of uh, how I made the captain very tall. You know, it will basically like stick with these descriptions when I write down the description of the character, even though it's already got the picture. It basically will stick with like mentioning or re-mentioning, even if it's only slightly different. You know, the hat, the pipe, the beard, or the mustache, or the boiler suit, and he's continuously wearing these things and has these things, and it's like in bed. What? You know, it's like at a restaurant, in a doctor's office. I'm just so confused sometimes. It's really irritating having to try to tell the AI. It's like, yeah, but you get why you can't. He's not always wearing a hat, right? He doesn't always wear the hat. The hat is just like an outside thing when he's on the boat. That's it's just it's just a hat. He doesn't need to wear the hat. And it's like you tell it that, and it's like you're right. That's a really good observation. I will fix it, and then it basically doesn't change it. It changes it for one scene, but it doesn't change it for the rest of the scene. So yeah, it doesn't elaborate or like fixate on anything else. You know, I don't want it to fixate on stuff. I want it to change details and build on the character that I've written, not just yeah. So yeah, it doesn't elaborate very well. But again, it depends which one you're talking about, because GPT is actually really good. It's actually really good. It does get stuck. It does get stuck when you basically want to call back to something. You know, even when you copy and paste the whole section into the prompt box or into the workspace or whatever they call that, it will basically have trouble going back in time in the story. It will basically bring things from the current tense, you know, the current part of the story that you've written, and it will try to add those into the bits of the story that you want to adjust back up there. And it's like they don't know anything about what's happening down here yet. These characters are in this moment. They're not in this moment. They're in this moment. Like they don't know any of this. This is the big twist that happens over here. You know, it's a bit annoying sometimes, but you know, you have to kind of like have to start a whole another conversation. Have to start again, or basically like copy and paste that part, and tell it that you know. In a previous conversation we had, you may be able to even look it up. We did a whole story. Oh, excuse me. We did a whole story, and this part of the story is something I would like us to work on. Could we please work on this part of the story and ignore the rest of the story. You know, so basically you don't add that bit, and it's a big workaround, but you can get it to actually write uh, decent-ish fiction. You know, you can actually, if you have to tweak it a lot, but GPT actually does a really good job. All of the other ones that I've used or tried out, because I haven't actually used any of them, I did use Grok because Grok hasn't got um, restrictions. It actually checks your age if you're going into a weird horror territory or adult territory. It actually checks your age. But apart from that, it doesn't have that many restrictions. I found this out today. This is a new thing that that it does, by the way, because like the sailor story is a horror story. The sailor story is a horror story. He gets tentacle raped or whatever and impregnated by a kraken. Like that's that guy's whole story. And it's like yeah, there's kind of like, you know, parasite horror elements to that. And in one instance, it basically it didn't have a problem writing any of the horror elements. It didn't have, or the gore elements. It didn't have any problem writing any of these. And then it said, "Would you like a picture of this?" And I was like, "No, but I kind of want to see what you're getting at now." You know, I was kind of like weirdly curious. Okay, and then it says, "Okay, please confirm your age," and I confirm my age, and yeah, it basically like showed kind of like a chest burster scene with a big squiddy thing, um, in detail. So yeah, Grok doesn't have a problem with Grok is not up its own butt. You know, Grok basically doesn't have the kind of like doesn't have very many, if any at all, restrictions. You know, it will try to veer away from like doing you know, sexual stuff or like you know, graphic horror stuff, and it will definitely not let you write like not that I've tried. I just want to point that out. I haven't tried. I kind of know for a fact that it would be a big no-no if you basically try to write it if you try to get it to write you know, CP stuff. So yeah, like, but otherwise you can get around the things to make it write adult themed stuff pretty easily. If you try that with GPT, it will immediately shut you down. You know, it will not go into any explicit, you know, explicit gory details about anything. It will not go into any like really it won't go into, if you basically have a romance, it will try not to do this. I've been over this before. It will try not to do romantic stuff. It might do some romantic stuff, but you get, if they so much as think about touching each other, then it will be like, no, I can't write this, and then you'll have a really hard time convincing it that you basically are like, he just touched her on the shoulder. He's reassuring her. Her dog just died. It's not a big deal. Calm down. You know, it's it's like no, and then he embraced her, the hug, you know, warm hug, and it's like no, can't do that. They can't touch. That's icky. That's wrong. I don't want to write this. And it's like, oh, fuck off. You know. Yeah. Copilot is a bit better, but it leans very much into the surreal fantasy side of things. Whenever you basically want it to write anything, you know, it will. That's the one that basically brings up the pictures. You know, that's the one that basically, if you suggest an edit to a picture, it will like give you the edit of the picture, and then it will tell you a little story and ask you if you want to continue with this story or like try to continue editing the picture some more. And it's like that's the one. So a lot of my story prompts, it kind of prompts me to basically like write a story about this, or at least want to write a story about this, you know. And it's like, oh, it's so annoying, because again, that's just making more work for myself. So yeah. First of all, I know I've already asked this before, but like I can't remember I think I remember the answer, but I just want to confirm. You're not the guy from Manchester, right? You're not the guy that I met in Manchester, right? I'm pretty sure that isn't you. It's just that you have very similar names. That is you. Really? I swear that the last time I asked this, it either wasn't you, or or you gave me a different answer. I'm trying to think of a good. Oh, where did we meet? Where did we first meet? I was trying to think of a good like question to confirm. You know, where exactly did we meet? If it is you, then I'm like really sorry. I couldn't remember the exact like date that you said that your birthday is. So I just sent you a message saying like happy birthday for next month, because I know that your birthday is next month. We're talking about AI stuff, AI creation and stuff. You still there, dude? Yeah. First, I asked you a question. Where did we meet in Manchester? Where did we first meet in Manchester? If you can get one of these details right, I will believe it's you. Like I said, either you or somebody that had a very similar name to you um, was in here before, and they weren't the person that I met in Manchester. So yeah. No, where did we meet in Manchester? Yeah, I don't think it wasn't me. That you didn't. That wasn't you then. That wasn't the guy that I met in Manchester. I thought it was a different guy that I did meet in Manchester in 2010, but that must have been ages ago. Jesus. Must have been for like Bear Bash or something. Last year, I met a really nice guy in Manchester. We had a great time. He knew exactly how to treat a fat guy, so that was great. Took me to eat. Took me out to eat many places. Had a really nice few meals and stuff. It was awesome, and even had like really good breakfast the next day. And that was not that guy. Right. I was gonna say you like that wasn't. It was just weird. Yeah. What was we talking about? It's okay. What was we talking about? We was talking about AI stories. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I will say that you said that Don. You said that they don't know how to elaborate, and I will say that there are issues, but again, depending on which one you're using, they're different issues. For example, Grok basically is really good at like writing the gritty details about stuff, and it does elaborate. It just that it does seem to be a little bit limited. It's not like stunted. But if you prompt it, if you poke it enough, you know, then essentially you can actually get really nice atmospheric detail out of it. Its dialogue is a bit off. You have to tell it all the time to basically add dialogue, or like to lengthen the dialogue, or to basically just add the dialogue yourself because it doesn't know what to say. You know what it doesn't know what to put in between the quotation marks, and you're like, oh, it's really irritating because it will say, and this character then explained about blah 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 blah, and it's like, right, when I told you to write that, I wanted you to write the dialogue, not tell me that character explained something. I want you to, when I told you that and then said add dialogue, I wanted you to write the actual words that they're saying. And it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. And then it'll basically give them like the first sentence, and then it'll say, and then they further explained, It's like we like the doctor then said, we need to get this crystal into this chamber, and then he explained how exactly the chamber works, and it's like, fucking write the rest of the thing. Don't just write the beginning part of the sentence. Write the whole thing. You know, it's so annoying. It's funny. It is funny. I will say that, but it's very frustrating when like you have no idea. Like you've written this interaction, you just want to hear what it would be like when it's scripted. You want to read the script to see if basically like the AI got it right, and that's hard when it doesn't do that. um, can talk about your pictures in your account Instagram, because I see you're just put it like gallery online. If you understand what I'm thinking, I do not understand what that was gibberish. By the way, on Instagram, I've just straight up followed her because her videos keep being shown to me on Instagram. But there's a woman who does she reads Chinese characters that people have been basically there's a oh my god. Let me try to explain this step by step. People upload pictures to the internet of their tattoos. Some people have Chinese characters tattooed on their bodies. She translates them into Chinese, and then she translates what they say, and it is hilarious. And it was just like 1 or 2 videos that started popping up, but basically, like every time I turn on my Instagram, I keep seeing this lady, and like I've just been like, yeah, it's amusing every now and again when I'm scrolling, but it's like it's not something that I would actually follow. But no, I took the dive and I followed her now, and yeah, they're just all very funny. Somebody has chicken soup written on their neck. It's so funny. Chicken soup. They've got chicken soup written on their neck. It's so good. Oh, that made me that. Oh, it's making my eyes water. Just thinking about it. Stop yawning. Stop it. I really want to reach for my tissue, but my tissue roll, but I know there's a spider web on it. I need my pen, and I'm just going to fleek the spider web off of it. I'm sorry. There's a tiny orb weaver spider that's made actually a web above my tissues. This is nothing inside it, so that's good. And I'm gonna sneeze, and I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, come on. No, it's gone. Whatever that feeling was, it was like, you're gonna sneeze! Everybody brace for impact! And then it was like, oh, there was more sky there. Oh, never mind then. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. I've also got an itchy eye, but I mean, itchy ear, so yeah. Thanks for expecting. Well, yeah. Keep going. I believe in you. But yeah, anyway, she would basically like read the translations off, and then she will translate them into English, and then and they're really funny. But some of them are, around about a quarter of them are basically she'll say the thing in Chinese, in Mandarin, and then she'll be like gibberish because it's just like it doesn't mean anything. You are so sorry. What did you do? What did you do? Okay. Yeah. No, just like when I read that one comment, I was like gibberish. I did not understand any of that. I'm sorry. Anyway, Oh my god. Yeah, AI. So yeah, Grok is basically bad at at that. Copilot is good, but like I said, it does do the repetition of certain aspects and certain things in stories a lot, and it does try to lean towards the fantastical. And even if you're going for a slice of life, it will basically insert the legend of this has concluded or whatever at the end of your story. And it's like, and they all enjoyed themselves and had a good time, and that was it. You know, it's like they all enjoyed themselves, had a good time, and talked of the legend of what just happened. And it's like, it's not legendary. The guy farted at a campfire. It's not a legendary story. Like, no one cares. Seriously. Like, it's just a part of the story. It's just the ending part of the story. It's not actually like the conclusion happened earlier in the story. Like, that's the thing that would be legendary. But no. Hey, Palafox. My language is Arabic. I meant to thank you for your explanation about the Instagram point only. Sorry if I bothered you in that. Um, why would I be bothered? I don't get it. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it's okay. I have got a man bag. My first man bag. Oh, by the way, this is my emergency light. In case all the other lights in my office go out, I basically have this one. It's another camping light, but yeah. But I have got a man bag for the first time. I got it at the 1940s weekend, but this is my man bag. I'm hoping there isn't a spider on it because it's been hanging in my office. But it says it's got that old canvasy smell as well, which is cool. But yeah, I actually have a man bag. Oh, which is good because I was just sick of carrying everything in my pockets all the time. And I liked it, and I was like, "Ooh, I know I can give this to somebody." And my mum was like, "Why don't you just have it?" I was like, "Because it's a handbag." And she said, "No, it's a man bag." I was like, "What?" And her new husband um, has basically got one of those exact ones, except it doesn't say not bothered and it's modern. So everything fell off of the hook. So I yeah, I said, oh, cool, okay, and then she just got it for me, so that was nice. So now I have a man bag. Or a mini satchel, or whatever you want to call it. I am starting to suspect that I wouldn't actually get to the artwork. I know it's unlikely, but I've got a feeling the camping light is just going to turn off at any minute. I've got a backup. It's just that it's annoying. Oh, my butt's falling asleep. Anyway, we talked a lot about AI and stuff. Yeah, so I don't know what to do about my problem of like having too many story ideas. I feel like I should actually like handwrite them down somewhere, you know? Maybe. Yeah, Panda Fox, I know I'm going to repeat this for anybody that's watching this on playback, or like for people that like have already heard me say this already. But yeah, Panda Fox, whenever I've done the AI artwork stuff, right? Some of the programs that I use to touch up the existing AI artwork pictures and stuff like that, especially like Copilot and GPT does this as well. Like when you do a picture and you basically like when it generates a picture, it will give you like a couple of paragraphs of like here's your picture and this and it looks really good and like it's really like bringing the scene to life with this and that and all that stuff. If you would like to continue like a narrative or like a story based on this image, maybe about like how the fireman is gonna go in the fire truck and have a little adventure or whatever, then like I would be happy to write that out for you, or write out a basic story based on this and this and this. And this is irritating for me because some of the stories that it comes up with are at least really good jumping up or off points for stories I want to write. So it makes me feel really guilty whenever I delete like like uh like that thread of conversation with the AI. And yeah, sometimes I do end up just saving them and wanting to elaborate them. But the problem now is that there's about 50 of these, and I'm just like, oh, I want to write them all. They're all really good, and I really want to write them all. You know. So yeah. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze again. It did just not happening. Map them out. Pick what you feel works best. The problem is that they do. I want to. I've got them saved on the computer at the moment, at least on the individual programs in which I'm using. I've actually got them. I actually do have them saved. I don't have them saved on my computer yet because there are so many. That's the problem. And I haven't written them down. I've written some of them down because they were already existing stories that I was originally going to write, but I can't write all of them down because then I'll just end up with like a folder that I won't ever open, you know. So I'm thinking about basically actually like writing them down, actually like sitting at my computer with a notepad and actually writing down just outlines of certain stories that I can then continue on, you know, in the future if I want to. But yeah. Basically, every single picture has its own story. Like I remember most of the stories from every single of the picture series that I've that I have uploaded to the AI art stuff folder on Discord. So if you basically got a specific one, I could tell you the story behind it, because I pretty much remember like almost all of them. But I eventually won't be able to, because there are just, like I said, there are just too many, and I don't want to forget them, because they're like, some of them are good. The pirate one was really dark, and then it turned silly. It turned silly really quickly. Itchy would love that story. Itchy would love that story. Here, I'll point it out. Yeah, I'll bring up the picture. I'll bring up the picture and I'll show you. I'm not going to look up the. I don't think I've got. I didn't write this one down. But yeah, yar, yar. Yeah, I had a brainwave that basically I wanted. I saw I was posing in a certain way, in a certain picture, and I was like, oh, that would make a really good like pirate. And then I realized what I was doing, because I had uploaded it, and I just wanted to, just fill out my figure a little bit, and that was that. But then I was like, ooh, yeah, do that, but also make him a pirate. And this was one that it didn't come up with the story for me. I kind of came up with the basic story, you know. I think I did it to justify it, because this was on Copilot. Oh my god, I've got an itch. Just I've got a stretch mark that's just like just here, and it keeps itching. Anyway, yeah, it came up with just a story of like, here he is, like he's a story with inflated with greatness or whatever. Like, it just said that, and it basically, would you like a story about like him and his fattened up or puffed up crew or whatever. And I was like, no, but what if like he's just he is a mean old captain, and like he's big and fat, and but he's mostly lazy, and he basically runs his crew off of fear, because he's got like a legend behind him. And I basically invented this whole legend of like this captain who like became captain by essentially eating his whole crew. Like he was just like a cook, or like a cannon, a cannon operator, or just like a member of this old crew. They got marooned or shipwrecked on an island somewhere, like, and he basically like has a legend around him, how he kind of like hunted everybody on his old crew down on the island, killed them and ate them. And like, legend has it, he was found with his own leg in his arms, gnawing at it like it was like a chicken bone or whatever, a turkey leg, on a bed of bones made of his old crew. And it's like, I made this really cool legend up for him and everything. And the like, I invented like a whole story of like this new member of the crew joining the crew, new member, and like the captain kind of like noticing this new member of the crew and kind of like looking at him as if he was like super tasty, maybe making little comments every now and again. And this new member hears about the legend and is like super paranoid that the captain's trying to eat him. And after they do a bit of pirating, they go back to like a pirate bay, pirate harbor, whatever. They go to Tortuga, whatever. And then like this new member spends all of his share of the loot on a room at the inn so they can get away from the ship. And he plans the next day to basically like find another crew so that he can get away from the captain who keeps like looking at him from across the ship and stuff as if he wants to eat him, right? And it gets funny, I swear to God. And yeah, like essentially the captain breaks it. This sounds really bad now that I'm thinking. It doesn't sound funny at all, but they're pirates, whatever. Essentially, like in the middle of the night, the captain breaks down the door, grabs him by the legs, and like drags him down the bed, and basically like he's face to face with the new new crewman, and like he opens his mouth and he's like the crewman's like super scared and afraid, and he kisses him. And then they bugger each other. Yeah, it's basically like the captain like then explains. It's like there's a whole scene where there's pillow talk the next day, where like they all have like a big laugh about it and stuff like that, and like the new crew members like, but I heard the stories. You were gonna eat me. You always looked like you were gonna bite take a chunk out of my side or something. And he's like, that's just a story. It's like it's like the Jack Sparrow thing, it's like a lot of his legends didn't really happen. A lot of the legends around Jack Sparrow didn't really happen. They're just stories to basically like make him mysterious, sea turtles and all that. And yeah, it's just a story so that he basically like could rule the crew with just the fear, and he's too lazy to actually like hunt down people and like try to eat them. He just like the reason why he was looking at him at the crewman, the new crewman, was because he really fancied him. So yeah, it's really funny story. It's very, very sweet story and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't written this one down, but I remember it because it's just like it's a really cool story. I like it. And again, I know Itchy would love it. But I should write that one down. I don't know. What do you guys think? I do have like I said, if you just picked any other picture from the AI Discord and told me, like pointed it out, then I could tell you the story to all of them, because like all of them have their own backstories. Some of them aren't that great, but some of them are really like really good, and I really want to write them down and make them into a whole story and everything. You really should. What, for this one? This one? It's fun. I can't write pirate dialogue. I will have to use AI for that. I know for a fact that AI can do that because I've read a very Affinity story that used AI, that definitely used AI to do it. So yeah, I know it does. You want to see the blueberry businessman? That one's so simple though. Like, I mean, what is the story there? He turns into a blueberry. But are you talking about the picture that I posted recently? Which one? The shiny one? There's the shiny version, or there's the not shiny version? You know, there's the deep blue one, or there's the one where there's, I'm guessing the juice just hasn't soaked into his shirt enough or something. I don't know. There's one that looks like he's basically wearing a rubber shirt, whereas there's another one where he's like, where it looks like he's wearing a blue shirt, you know. Or do you want to see the image that it's based on before that? Before I turned on the blueberry, you know. I think Don's stirring food again. Yes. So all of them. You want to see all of them? I can't upload all of them. Can I upload all of them? Does that work here? Nope. I can only do one at a time. Well, if you think about it, it's both a rubber concept and a blueberry concept. That one picture. I'm just going to post. I'm just going to put the picture up. That one. That picture is of me when I did the balloon popping video. One of the lunar videos that I did for my buddy Charlie. And yeah, you saw the whole sequence, but it just with the lighting and everything, because the lighting I think was blue that day. You know how it's random. But that day it was blue, so I decided to kind of like lean into that for the picture when I did the inflated version. And yeah, this is what it turned out. This is what showed up. It's not bad. It always gets it's the arm proportions. It still doesn't understand about the whole like you should shrink the arms so that they're sinking into the body a bit more. You know, that the limbs kind of get absorbed. It understands with the legs. I never understood that. It understands that concept because it's done that with the legs. But why doesn't it do it with the arms as well? You know? That because the arms look huge. You know, they look really long. It doesn't look right. Like if I was going to use this as a reference picture, then I would literally keep everything the same. It's just that I would shorten the arms. Maybe sink the head in a little bit as well. You know? Because I look really, really tall. But yeah. It's not so bad on the image before this. You know, the image that this is based on. Which I think is this one. I don't know, the preview is very, very small. Yeah, it's not super bad with this one. It's starting to get a bit wrong looking, but it's not bad. It's not the back. I don't actually mind the background. I actually don't mind the background so much. You know, apart from the missing door, it pretty much captured my living room. Don't know where the red Solo cup came from. It's just on a table just over there for some reason. Just on both of these pictures, I've just noticed it. But yeah. This one doesn't have really an elaborate and this one doesn't have really that much of an elaborate story behind it. It's not that big of a deal. It's kind of a thing. It's kind of a it's kind of a slice of life with a bit of magic thrown into it. I know that automatically makes it not a slice of life, but it's kind of a slice of life kind of like scene. Basically, like I play in this story that goes with this image. I play basically a is it a battered husband? I don't know. How do you put it? It's just like a husband with a very nagging wife. Essentially like a very fat round guy returns home after work, and after he's been to the pub, and basically like his wife, like when he gets home, is just like continuously like yelling at him and moaning at him and just talking to him as if he's like nothing, and just being a super bitchy person, you know. And like he's just kind of like not listening to her. He's just like puffing on his pipe, and then basically it just every puff, every nag, every annoying comment that she makes is just kind of like he just gets a little bit puffier and puffier and puffier until he basically just like pops and disappears. I didn't really go into anything like did he disappear or did he die? It's kind of all left. It's all left up in the air, you know. Like there's nothing. There's no evidence of him or anything. And yeah, I kind of like left it open of like, is the wife going to kind of like get like put in prison because she killed her husband, because that's what everybody thinks, that she killed her husband or something. I don't know, like, or did he just teleport somewhere somehow, you know? It's just I wanted to leave it up in the air because I didn't really have an ending to the story. It's just a very, very simple, very kind of like meh story, you know. I think this was also based on something that the AI said. Oh yeah, the AI basically said like, if you'd like to add another character, you know, like a friend in the scene, or maybe even like a nagging wife that's like moaning at him for being too big or whatever. And I was like, ooh, that's where the story kind of like jumped off from. Like I said, it gives me a lot of jumping off points. But yeah. But yeah, if you like the blueberry variant, then it's kind of like, well, there's not really much story there. He just kind of like had some blueberry gum or something. I don't know. Had some blueberry beer. Maybe he just really likes blueberries, and that he just turned into one. It doesn't have to be Wonka related. You could just be obsessed with blueberries. It's an actual thing. There are people that are like super duper into blueberries. I found this out because I looked up a blueberry T-shirt at one stage, and like found a lot of like, there's so many like T-shirts about, about them. It's kind of like how a few years ago everybody was kind of like obsessed with the kind of cartoon nuggets and cheese. You know, it's like you either had like a nugget shirt or a cheese shirt or something. Like I just saw them everywhere for some reason. Just like nugget shirts and cheese shirts, and I was like, what is the deal? You know, things like cheese is my life. Just sayings like that on shirts. Well, they have there's a whole section of these, but for blueberries as well. There's like blueberry themed T-shirts, not the blueberry transformation theme, like literally just about blueberries. So, like enough people are obsessed with blueberries for this to be a thing. I mean, I really like blueberries too, but I wouldn't go super crazy nuts for them. Oh my god, stop. I kind of want to just go to bed, but I can't just go to bed yet because I have had a lot of liquid to drink and I do not want to have an accident. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, every single one of the pictures has its own story, and it's just like I said, I haven't written them all down. Most of them I haven't written down, in fact. Some of them have multiple stories. I do like the captain one. The captain one's fun. I like that you guys like the captain one. The suspenders picture with the red balloon. Scanning. Oh yeah, that was a weird noise. Oh, you have to tell me which one. I know that's hard. I know it's hard. The very latest one doesn't have a balloon. I'll find the right. Wait. I'm trying to figure out a way of differentiating the pictures so that it will help you to help me pick the right one. The one with the bachelor party banner in the background. Yeah, this one, and this one all have the bachelor party banner in the background. There's a small, medium, and large. You know, like which one are you thinking of? These are the three that I'm okay with. I kind of like the small one the best. Yeah, I know they seem like a sequence, but that's only because I use the same image. I use the same image of myself for each of these pictures. It's just that I include the generated image in the image, image reference section, and then I type out the description of what I'd like. That's one of the ways in which I've actually gotten like semi-consistent sequences out of these. But yeah. I'm going to go with the one that looks the most like me, okay? It's the small one, but... Fuck, I dropped it out of the queue. That one. Like I said, that's the small one. It's the one that looks the most like me, so yeah. That was another lunar video that I did. Yeah. This one I don't actually remember the story to, because I don't think it really had a story. I think it did. No, it's coming back. Yeah. It's like a guy wishes that he could like live in the bachelor party for the rest of his life because he really hates not being a bachelor. Like his partner is always like keeps him on a diet and like like makes him exercise and doesn't let him just like go out and party with his friends and stuff. So basically like he becomes bigger because he isn't partnered anymore, and like it shows him the errors of his ways. The whole thing. Game fiction is weird, okay? It's weird. It's slightly embarrassing to talk about somehow. I feel kind of like off talking about it, But yeah. But you like that one. Q. Ugh. Good thing they're all archived. I'm still really annoyed at the fact that I have to alter. Just they. I actually haven't tried it. I haven't tried it recently. I tried it once, but with this program, I think this is Sora. I have so many more pictures. A lot of them, to that might look good if I ran them through the program. The problem is that I'm sitting down, or I'm posing in a different way, or I have part of my belly exposed. If I am sitting down, posed in a awkward manner, or my tummy is exposed, or if I'm wearing if I'm wearing anything with leather on it, including the leather Daddy Dog hood, you know, it does have an issue. Sora does actually have an issue. It gives really, really good, accurate results, like you can see. But the problem is that it's still a bit prudish. In other words, if any part of my tummy is exposed, then it will sometimes waste that attempt at making a picture. And yes, you only get so many attempts at making pictures. So I tend to kind of like veer away from anything with leather in it, and unless it's like, well, basically it doesn't like harnesses or hoods. So if I can avoid those, then yeah. Anything with my bare belly, and anything with me sitting in an awkward position or standing in an awkward pose, because it didn't like the picture that I basically tried to get it to alter when I was sat down. It was just once that I tried this, though. I haven't tried a lot of, I haven't done a lot of risky stuff, risky pictures with this program, purely because it's limited. There's only so many pictures I can do a day, so many attempts I can do a day before it will kind of like, reach a limit before I have to pay for it. And you guys know that I can't afford anything. So yeah. I just remembered something from Instagram. I follow a couple of accounts on Instagram. They don't have these problems. Like I said, AI art, there's a program out there somewhere that can do basically adult themes and porn. Because I follow a couple of accounts on Instagram, I know for a fact that that AI porn is a thing, and it totally exists. For example, I actually saw AI produce an AI video of a guy doing a human balloon video where they actually inserted the pump into the guy. So I know it's real. I know you can do this, but I just don't know what program that is, or even like how much it costs to purchase it or whatever. So that's fun. Anyway, right. Anybody got anything they want to ask me or say to me before I go? Now is the time. There's custom AI generations, but it requires a beefy computer. Custom AI generation. Oh, you mean like you could actually run a program offline, stuff like that. I don't think they do that. I don't think that's the case for these. Like I said, I don't think that's the case for these. No, I believe you. I believe that they exist. I'm just saying that for these Instagram accounts, I don't think that's the case. And also, like I said, I've seen a bunch of AI generated porn. Both pictures and video. It's like they can't all be doing that. I get that some of them probably have done that, but they can't all be doing that. Did a light just go off? It felt like one of my lights flickered or something. But that would be bad if that happened. No, the battery's still good on that. That spider's disappeared, which is creepy. But yeah. Yeah. I look good as a pirate. I could totally pull off the peg leg look. I did think about doing like the eye patch and a hook and everything, but then I was like, no, like one body modification at a time, you know. Basically, like, yeah, just give him one body modification. Don't go overboard. That's one of the things that I've found is a thing. One of the things I found is a thing. One of the things that bugged me, that used to bug me a lot in at Halloween and stuff. Whenever there was like somebody with a pirate costume, they would go overboard. You know, they do like they do everything. They do like, have a fake scar, maybe have an eye patch, have the fake plastic hook, and just like everything. And it's a bit much. Less is more, as they say, with the whole pirate thing. I think we found that out anyway. But when the Pirates of the Caribbean thing happened, like everybody started to notice that, yeah, don't go all the way with everything. Just have like a peg leg, just have an eye patch, just have one big scar somewhere or one really big tattoo. Don't go all of it all at once. It just no. Also, I I know it's not really a thing. The eye patch myth is kind of not really a thing. There's a myth that basically everybody kind of like everybody had eye patches. The reason being for the eye patch is that, like, whenever you went below deck, then one of your eyes would be continuously shielded from light and therefore would adapt more quickly. So when you went below deck in the dark, you basically switched the eye patch so that your eye is already adjusted to being in the dark and stuff. That's the reason for the popularity of the eye patch. A lot of people didn't actually wear eye patches purely for the reason, the functional reason of they needed something to cover up their missing eye. It's not a thing. Yeah, that whole thing is a myth. Like, that didn't actually happen. Human eyesight's actually really good at adapting pretty quickly to like low lighting conditions. We're actually really good. Like, humans are actually really good at that. We're one of the best of the apes. One of the best of the primates, basically, to actually adapt our seeing ability and stuff like that. So that is a myth. Like, it's true. When they tested this myth, they found that this is true. You can, your eye, one of your eyes, if it's covered up, will adapt very quickly to the low lighting conditions of a slightly darker environment after being out in the sunlight. But it's negligible, and also you're giving up depth perception. It's like it's it sucks. It's a really, really, you'd have to adapt in other ways, which doesn't make it really worth it. Just for that, like, just for that second or two where your eyes adjust, you know, it's like it's not really that big of a deal. Also, doesn't help you if you're coming above deck and being exposed to the sunlight. So yeah. Also, a lot of people forget that like boats back then, the wooden boats and everything. Yeah, they were hot. They were like really warm. Isn't it like people forget this? They were fucking hot. They were exposed to the sun all the time. They were a fairly dark color, and yeah, they were just hot. They were often insulated as well, which meant that they kept the heat in. Oh my god, Tommy, shut up. You cannot be serious. So yeah. Anyway, that's me as a pirate. Right, I think I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna try to play on the computer for a little bit and stay up for a little bit longer. And then I'm gonna lay down and sleep. I think. Yeah, did Panafox post something? Let me just quickly check. I posted in the lobby. Okay. I will look at that after. No, I didn't minimize it. I want to get rid of it. There we go. I will try. And the video that I recorded will be up. Like, I don't think I'm going to actually be able to upload it tonight. I mean, I can probably, but I'm not entirely sure if I should. I'm not entirely sure if I should, or if I should just wait until I can just do it in like tomorrow and then do the sketching while it's uploading, you know. It's another Andy sketch. I'm gonna do another sketch for Andy. So yeah. Right. Oh, my butt fell asleep. Oh no. Oh no. That's gonna hurt. Belly rubs. And belly salute. Oh wait, I should get rid of that. There we go. Belly rubs. And belly salute. And my foot is slipping. Slipping out of my sandals. Oh, there we go. Also, are you alive? No, that is a dead fly. Okay. I thought I saw a spider when I stood up. Quick scan. No, good. Oh. No, good. We're good. No giant spider though. Don't know whether to be disappointed or what. I'll be back day after tomorrow. So yeah. Yeah. Toodles.